What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Cube World. That's right, Cube World has officially launched on Steam. It is out in full, and I'm so excited for this game. We are on a fresh character, by the way, here. I figured that if we're going to be starting a little quote-unquote let's play or walkthrough or playthrough, that we should probably start a fresh character and not be geared up to the gills on a previous character. Now, what is Cube World? Cube World is a voxel action RPG that has been in production for many years. And it goes without saying that Cube World in its alpha form, which came out 2013, is far different from the current Cube World that you're seeing. Not visually. Visually, I would say it's a nice little upgrade. But gameplay, progression, and leveling up, I should say, are the biggest changes for sure. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's watched my content over the last couple of weeks in the beta. I've been thoroughly enjoying Cube World. Please don't ever take it the wrong way. I love Cube World. It's a lot of fun. It's not perfect yet, and that's okay, but it's definitely a good game, great foundation, and I think it definitely can see the light of day and be improved upon. So, but yeah, I do want to say thank you so much, first and foremost, to anyone who's watched or came across my content, who dropped a comment, who liked the video or anything of the sort. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And jumping into things, is Cube World in 2019, like I said, is quite different from the past Cube World. It's not bad. It's just different. The one thing is, the progression system is far different and far more unique than most traditional RPGs in general, let alone Cube World specifically. So most RPGs, if you've played any RPGs, is the traditional, you get you get yourself geared up, you kill enemies, you get experience, you level up, you get more powerful, you get experience, take on harder bosses, get better gear. That's kind of the progression of most RPGs. I think that's pretty straightforward. Cube World does away with experience, so there is no experience in Cube World. It is purely based off of gear and gear progression and exploration and conquering each zone or biome. So what that means, let's take a look at our biome here, because I actually haven't looked yet. So this is your biome or your zone. There are many zones. This world is infinitely procedurally generated, and each zone has something called an artifact. I actually talked to an NPC earlier there. They're actually talking about artifacts. Now, what artifacts are your ultimate, let's call it the ultimate way to level up. You level up your character here on the left by increasing its ability stats by acquiring artifacts. So they will increase things like your climbing speed, diving skill, hang gliding speed, and your light radius of your little lamp, like that. Now, what that means and how far that differs from most RPGs is that most RPGs are looking at get experience, grind experience, fight better mobs, move on to harder areas. In Cube World, the current progression system, as is September or technically October 2019, is that you get really strong in one area. You kind of rank up, you gear up, you get super strong early, and pretty quickly you can do it in 4 to 6 hours. And then you go to your next biome or your next zone, and your gear's power doesn't carry over. So ultimately what that means is that you have to kind of re-gear up. There is an exception, being items with a plus connotation, so they'll say used wood wand with a little plus sign, meaning that it does extend past its original zone. I know that sounds a bit confusing. I actually have a couple of videos, you can check the iCard right now, on how it all works, and I kind of make it simple so you kind of understand. I'm just talking in brief and in synopsises here. So ultimately, it's all about gear progression, exploration within the zone, and then advancing to the next zone to acquire artifacts. That's really what the loop is. It's not a hard loop. It can be a little grindy, especially at the beginning, where you it's a little harder to take on certain enemies. Like, for example, I was thinking about taking this Hornet on, but it is a green quality enemy. I have white quality gear. I could take it on because I'm a mage and I have, you know, long range capabilities, but the benefit of taking down one Hornet to probably get nothing but gold isn't really great. So I'm going to actually pass on that. I'm going to go ahead and get the reins here. Now, this is your map. There are certain little spots like right here on the map where these are your save points. Actually, can you see one over here from where I am? Maybe not. But I actually spawned on one of them in the town. And it was right... Wait. Right over here, actually. There it is. So, these are the save points. These are called the Shrines of Life. You actually want to find these. You want to visit them. You play a little flute, and you actually set your... almost like a respawn point, but also a fast travel point. So, I just saw one down here. Right there. Right? Yeah, so this is one. If you use your middle mouse button, you can actually mark it on the map. So I like to kind of take a few minutes to look at where I want to go, what's the general direction that I want to head, and where are these little save points so that along the way I'm not going to be set back 5 minutes of walking if I end up perishing in the world. The world can be pretty dangerous when you start because, again, you are fairly weak. You don't really have much in the way of gear or power. You have all your skills right away. Like I have my ultimate ability, which is this awesome fire missile. Does a ton of damage, by the way. But aside from that, it's pretty weak. Pretty weak. Can't walk very fast. Can't use my... I don't have a boat or a hang glider yet. I'm actually working my way towards acquiring these reins over here, as the reins will actually help me be able to mount a pet, and that pet will allow me to ride it a little bit faster throughout the terrain. It's not super fast, but is slightly faster than my current speed. Also, if you see a bumblebee, no, don't pet. I accidentally clicked it. You want to pet the bumblebee. Bumblebees are nice. Now, how do you progress early game? Because you don't know how. You're like, I'm shooting things and they're killing me and I'm dying a lot. Well, because you are fairly weak, you actually want to fight, well, fairly weak enemies. Here's a cow, for example. This cow. Oh. Okay. This is going to be a problem. Actually, it won't be a problem. Let's do this. There we go. So I used my ultimate ability to take down those a group of mobs there. And I'm actually trying to aggro just one cow here, as taking on enemies one at a time when they are white tier enemies is probably the best way to get early gear, aside from kind of corralling them to a friendly mob and having the friendly mob kill it. So I'm just trying to kill a couple of these guys. Again, you can see they don't drop experience, but they do drop gold, and occasionally they do drop gear. So my big thing is I'm just trying to keep them at bay with my mage wand. So he actually dropped a ginseng soup, which is a healing item, so I will take that for sure. Okay, so we got another cow here. Are these friendly? Okay, so these are friendly here. I'll show you what I mean by corralling them to friendly enemies, or friendly mobs. I'm going to bring them over here, and they're going to help me kill this cow by actually attacking it. And there you go. So I didn't really have to do much. They actually did most of the work. So again, we can do this with bunnies. We can do this with any enemies, really. I'm probably just going to kill these guys because they're fairly easy to kill, bunnies. They don't have a lot of HP, and they also don't do a lot of damage, so. But you do want to talk to as many NPCs as possible, as they actually provide waypoints and points of interest on your map, which helps you to, there we go. These guys take care of this. Glass flask. They actually provide points of interest on the map to help you be able to conquer the map better. So the only reason I knew the reins, these are reins over here, were located in Anric's farm, was because I actually talked to some of these mobs and they were like, hey, this, and this, you should head over here because there's a cool thing over here. So, see, one of them actually gave me a point of interest. A hang glider, that's a fantastic point of interest. And this is great because it's actually on the way here. So I'm going to make a little detour. I'm going to head over off to the left here. grab the hang glider, and then head over to get the reins. You want to get these mobility items as soon as possible, I'd recommend, because they, again, will help you get around the world a bit better, a little bit easier, and you can traverse your terrain quicker, which allows you to get to different points of interest, again, quicker. So we're going to head over there. It's actually already 1800, which means I think I'm actually going to go and backtrack a little bit and head over to the town to take a quick nap. Mainly because you can see at the top there I have my coordinates and I have time. It is currently 1800, which means that is, what, 6 p.m.? And if I continue going out the way I'm going, it will be very dark. And I'm saying very dark. I'm not saying dark. It's going to be very dark. So I would rather spend 10 gold and skip the night, or kind of sleep through the night if you want to put it that way, by traveling to the inn here, talking to this innkeeper, and he asks how you can help. You can actually take a rest until next morning for 10 gold, and that is totally worth it, so that we, you and I, can have a great video here. Alrighty. Now you can actually see Kiki down there. Said, I'm looking for a mysterious artifact from the Thalamon tribe. Do you know where it can be found? So those are the little clues about artifacts, how to progress, where the artifacts are. And these first couple of videos would be more of like a quote-unquote tutorial type, or like walkthrough type videos as we get through and into the game. And then eventually it'll be, hey, this is my day today. This is what I did today. Now all the enemies and all the mobs do respawn here, so I'm actually going to see if I can aggro most of these guys here and use my ultimate ability to kind of take them all down at the same time here. And we'll do something like this. And obviously I took quite a bit of damage there, but I have healing apparatuses, so I will heal and have a sip of my coffee because it is 6:41 in the morning. And I love me some coffee. Alright. So, again, let's continue on and get that hang glider. I'm just going to double check our waypoint here. So we actually want to cross this way. There's a few plains runners, which I do not want to mess with. So I'm going to take the long route. Kind of go around them. Oh, by the way, bloomlings, they look inconspicuous. They look easy. They look like you can destroy them without any thought. Bloomlings can do a ton of damage. They fire their attacks very, very, very rapidly, and so I would just be wary of fighting bloomlings. Now, I have a dilemma here. There are skullbulls all around this save point, and they are not happy, and these are enemies I cannot take on. So I'm going to try my best between the... Is that epic or... yeah, between the rare slimes, the rare skullbulls. I'm just going to try to hit this checkpoint as quickly as I can here. And okay, we're safe. I'm pretty sure we're safe here. So once you set it, I usually like to take the little star off the map because I don't need it anymore. Now that is a new save point, so I can travel to and from this save point at my will. And I can actually respawn here as well, again at my will. Okay, so... We're going to confirm our direction here. We're going to head off to the south-southwest. And on the way, you can see I'm actually picking up these little heart flowers. Heart flowers are fantastic. They actually help you create these little potions, which can heal you. So you don't have to always go back to your inn or go back to a town to heal. As long as you have enough potions, you can actually heal up that way. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab these little cormlings here. I was going to try to get those lemon beetles, but I'm going to play it safe and not go super crazy on the mobs all at once. But this is, I mean, for a mage, super easy early way to acquire... Oh, I got to be careful here. Oh, okay, got to drink my potion. This is a pretty easy way to acquire gear early, is by killing mobs all at once if you can kite them. Not all mobs are kiteable. Some you do have to kind of just take on one-on-one. But if you can kite your enemies, it does obviously save you quite a bit of time and energy because you can do multiple enemies at once. So like all these flies here, I'm going to kind of gather them up and smash them in the head. Mage is really strong. Mage is glass cannon, so every character has their strengths and weaknesses. The mage is a glass cannon, so does a lot of damage, but doesn't have a lot of defenses, so it is kind of squishy. But as long as you can get past that... Actually, look, I'm going to show you here. As long as you get past that, then it's not a big deal. Now, these are a couple of very, very strong mobs. These are very strong mobs here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of let them do the work for me and save me some work. And I'm actually, on that note, because I have the capability of using these folks, I'm actually going to use them to fight harder mobs. And I would strongly recommend you do this. It's not cheating. This is not, getting away with anything. This is simply using what's around you. Now you can see, it's not for my character, but there was a long sword dropped here. So, assuming there are a couple of enemies nearby that you'd like to, maybe take on, like here we go. We got some sapphire fish here. I can snipe these guys, bring them over. They're a little slow, but that's okay. Bring them over to these guys. They will kill them for me, and they'll save me. 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 Excuse me. Save me. Thank you. So again, dropped some blue or some rare items there. Not for my class, but I did drop some items. So that's how I'd recommend if you have these guys available. Like, they're super strong. Let's call them, let's say, more than 1500 HP. They will do a lot of work. So I would recommend using them to your advantage whenever you see them. Now, let's confirm we're heading off in this direction here. I'm going to be a little bit mindful to see if I can find a bed anywhere nearby. Now, that's a gem trader. He's a friendly mob. You can actually sell your items to him or buy gems from him. Gems such as emeralds, sapphires, rubies, and diamonds. So I don't need these. I'm just going to sell them. I'm also not going to use any of that. So I might as well sell it and get a little bit of gold back if in case I do need it. Now, these are legendary enemy mobs. So don't talk to them. Don't try to talk to them. They will ruin your life. I would strongly recommend avoiding those at all cost. Now, alpacas, we could take those guys on. They're easy. I'm going to build up a little bit of our momentum here. And then we're going to hit it with the mouse 2, which does have a knockback capability. Actually, some slimes here as well. I want to be careful. Slimes are a little strong. They do have a physical melee that is pretty quick. So they can really tack on the damage quickly. So you want to kind of fight white and very weak green mobs. You have to experiment, obviously. You need to know, which one are good, which one are bad, which ones are tough to fight, which ones are easy to fight. I did kind of outline that a little bit in the guide that I made on how to grind levels efficiently, so you can always check that out if you want to get a little bit more information on that. There we go. If you want a little bit more information there on how to grind this game pretty efficiently, I would recommend watching that. Ooh, 1 HP. Now this dropped leftovers. Leftovers are random leftovers that can be viewed if you go into your town here with this gentleman right here or person, either the identifier. They actually can identify what the leftovers are specifically. So I would save those, bring them. They only cost a couple of gold to uncover, and sometimes that drops you some cool gear, so that's always a plus. I'm gonna teleport over here. I love the mage. It has such great mobility, being that you can teleport a good 50-60 blocks away, which means I can just, typically speaking, I can jump over really large gaps. You can also float with the mage, and that's a passive ability, doesn't take mana. Yeah, the mage is really a lot of fun. Now, once you start getting to these planes, you'll start noticing bosses. This is Narion, the possessed insect guard. Now, rare enemies right now are still out of my league regardless, but there are bosses that every boss drops gear, 100%. They drop gear. So that's not a questionable thing. They do drop gear. They just may not drop gear for your class. So if you can take on bosses, I'd recommend taking on green quality bosses wherever applicable. I gotta be careful here. These guys are legendary. Take on green quality bosses wherever applicable, because they will actually help you level up. So there's actually a big onionling over there, I think I see. And onionlings are pretty strong early game because they do have a very fast melee hit. I'm just going to double check. If I die, I will just respawn there. Oh no, it's not onion. It's a lemon beetle. Now, this is a green tier lemon beetle, or green tier boss in general. I just don't have the capabilities of taking that on yet, because again, I don't really have the right gear. I'm still fairly weak for all intents and purposes here. I'm actually gonna grab these Cormlings, and I can take these guys on here. They do a lot of damage, but I'm gonna kind of corral them and do this, and see if I can take some of them out. And if I die, it's okay, because I'm just gonna respawn right here. So if anything, I can do this. This is something you can do, is you can abuse the system a little bit, and knowing that you're gonna die. Oh no, I died. Oh look. I can take them on that way. So it's an easy way to farm some gear early on. Ooh, a candied apple. That's an easy way to farm gear early on if you want to hang around those points. So technically I could, you know what, let's stop with the technicalities. Let's take on a boss. And so I'll show you exactly what I mean here. Is that this boss does a lot of damage and actually spawns other mini bosses. So I'm going to abuse the save system a little bit, and I'm going to focus on the boss. I know these guys are going to do a lot of damage to me, and that's okay. Okay, and then I'm going to use my ultimate again. Just do as much damage as I can here, because this is going to drop me, well, drop gear that can be really useful for me to level up. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this dude here. And then we'll hit him with the ultimate again. Oh, he wants to save his progress as well, you know, just in case. There we go. I mean, technically we could have fought this normally. It would have taken a lot more, you'd have to do a lot more dodging. But this is an easy way to get some early gear. You can see I already have the boss down to about half HP. When he does spawn that guy, that's not a fun time there. And I'm sure that other classes have an easier time mobbing because they have stronger capabilities. Just because I'm a mage that, you know, I'm kind of squishy. Once I get close, most enemies destroy me pretty easily. It's just a little bit tougher for my class specifically. You may be a warrior or berserker class and have that defensive and offensive capability. Or you may have like a ranger class where you can go invisible. So there are a lot of pros and cons. The mage just does a ton of damage, raw damage. So that's the only difference there. Why are you spawning so many guys? Stop it. And they're doing quite a bit of damage. I'm almost done here, so let's see if we can take down this boss here. I think we can take on him right here. Bah! There we go. And we got a magic iron sword, not for my class, and that's okay. I did get a little bit of gold there as well. And we got the experience on camera of how to defeat a boss using a save point. So that's something I would genuinely use. I think that's a tactic. I don't think that's cheating. I think it's a little sketchy. A little sketchy. I think there may need to be a system where if you respawn or if you die a few times at the same point, it respawns you somewhere else closer by at another save point maybe. But I can definitely see how that gets abused a little bit, just a little bit, you know, just a little bit. All right, we're gonna head up to the top of this mountain here and get ourselves dragon root. Yeah, get ourselves our little hang glider so we can hang glide around. I'm also gonna have another sip of coffee, delicious coffee. That's a big mountain. All right, before I proceed, we'll make sure there's no enemies around me, or at least not enemies that are gonna kill me. I can take on some enemies, but not the strong boys yet. Now these pigs, yeah, you can take on some pigs. Pigs are pretty easy to take on. Let's see if we can kind of corral them in a little bit. Come on, piggies. Here, little pork chops. Come on, pork chops. There's actually a big boss over there too. Oh, whoops. I did not do an efficient job there. I'm gonna heal up a little bit here. I did not. My efforts were very poor on that one. I did a poor job. That's a little bit better. There we go. And actually dropped a bow. Again, not for my class, but it did drop a bow. Now that is a chilling boss. They are legendary, I believe. And yeah, a possessed chilling. I'd avoid those until you're very strong. Chilling are pretty tough actually. They do a charged melee attack that does a ton of damage. So definitely want to be geared up to at least epic gear before taking on any legendary enemies, specifically the chillings. There are some legendary enemies that are fairly easy to defeat, that kind of just take a little bit of coordination and skill. But then there are some bosses that are just, some enemies in general that are just too hard. Just too hard early game. Alright, I'm going to defeat this bush. Yeah, this bush doesn't even know what's coming to it. There we go. Grab some mushrooms along the way here. Climbing up to the tippy top of this mountain to get our hang glider. Actually, is it on... It might be over there. I don't think it's actually on this tippy top of the mountain. Nope. Yeah, it's actually on that one. Maybe. Let's go. Let's get our hang glider. And then we can ride off into the sunset. Technically it's like high noon, but we'll call it sunset. Yes. Alright, where's the hang glider? Where are you, bud? Nope, you said you're back here somewhere. Where, oh where is the hang glider? It says it's right here, but I don't see it. Maybe it's around here? I could have sworn that the marker was actually pretty accurate to where it should be. Gotta be careful because there's some not so friendly mobs there. I'm wondering if it's maybe... I've seen this before where sometimes it gets spawned in the tree. So I'm actually going to see if I can pop on top of this tree here. I don't quite see it here. Do you guys see it? This is a bit of a predicament. I was hoping I would have a hang glider to glide down from here. But that may not be the case. I'm just going to check around here. Again, I'm pretty certain wherever it is on the map is a pretty accurate spot. It's very specific. I'm just looking around top of the trees, top of the mountains. I see some enemies. They can definitely do some work on me. Yeah, I don't quite see it. I wonder if it's inside of here by chance. That is a predicament if I've ever seen one. Because it kind of looks to be like right here. Basically. Basically right here. Now, unless you're supposed to use a bomb to clear this to get the hang glider, I've never had to do that before. Okay, well, I will, once I get a little bit more geared up and situated, I will grab that. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. So let's go ahead and see what else is on the map here. See if we have any save points nearby. Well, we kind of want to head... Oh, is that another village? Oh, that is. Okay, let's actually head over to that village. We just take this road straight down. Cool. Nice and easy. See if there's any save points along the way, actually. Or any save points around the town, maybe? This landscape is proving to be difficult, but I found one. Alright. So we're going to make our way slowly and carefully down the mountain. Not to take too much damage. Skull bulls, radishlings. Yeah, I love Cube World. Cube World's a ton of fun. Again, I understand people's thoughts on thoughts and opinion on the game. And I think I respect them. I totally respect. I think they're accurate too. When people are getting just butthurt and be like, no. But when the discourse is like, the game's good, but it needs some improvement, I feel like that is the way to provide feedback honestly and accurately. And I totally respect people's opinion of not liking the game in its current state. I'm in the party that does enjoy it. And again, it's okay if you don't. And that's totally fine if you don't. So I really like the game. I love grinding. So for me, spending 4 or 5 hours grinding is totally good for me. And then having to regrind and regrind and regrind, I like that. Now, in this little playthrough, I probably will farm some plus gear, which is gear that, again, extends past your current zone and is more of a kingdom-wide piece of armor or gear. And so I will definitely be grinding that, just so that makes the next zones a little bit easier. I would also recommend that for anyone is once you kind of defeated and conquered your zone, go and make sure... Oh, I've never seen those before. Are those villages? I don't think those are villages. Oh, anyways. I would go and definitely farm those higher and tougher areas for gear. I think that does make a big difference in trying to get some plus gear under your belt so that you can take on the next area much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to these guys. Again, biggest thing you want to do early game is talk to everyone. They're going to mark all those points of interest on your map. So I literally just go up to these little alien dudes, mash all their faces in, and then hit the save point here. And some of them say nothing. Some of them say, hey, you know, look at this really cool thing. And then other ones, like one of these guys, actually said, hey, there's a... let me take that marker off. There's a gnome being held hostage by some ogres at Arno Lava Lake. So now you know. So I'm going to go ahead here and jump into the town. I'm actually going to visit... I'm going to talk to all these folks offline. Alright, if anyone I could just kind of pass by, I'll talk to. I'm going to talk to most of these guys offline, off screen. I want to see if there's anything interesting in the weapons shop right here. Dusty wood staff. Am I using a wood staff? I'm using a wood wand. So I'm going to actually sell these things. I'm going to head over to the identifier right here. I'm going to identify these leftovers. I think this only costs like 2 gold. 1 gold even, yeah. And I got myself an adjusted silver bracelet. So there you go. So if I wanted to switch weapons and use a bracelet combo, which is actually with a water mage specification or specialization, the bracelets are very, very strong. Slap 2 bracelets on a water mage, you're going to do a ton of damage and not take a lot of... and be able to heal and kind of hold your own a little bit. So we're going to grab these silk boots here, get a little bit more geared up. Not like I'm super geared up to the gills, but at least I have some more armor here. We got some gem traders, we got a bunch of other things here I'm going to visit offline. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap up here, about half an hour. Thank you so much. This is my first half an hour with the full game. The beta was basically full game, just early access for alpha owners. But if you want to see more Cube World and you really enjoyed this episode, want to see more of this kind of content, I'd strongly recommend you scroll down a little bit, hit the subscribe button. And if you did enjoy and watch all the way to the end, I would also appreciate it if you hit the like button. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love this game. I hope you do too, and I hope you come onto the journey. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of crazy adventures in Cube World. So thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day. Bye-bye.